Happening now, leaders in Chautauqua County are continuing to urge the public to follow COVID-19 guidelines to help and aid stopping a local outbreak. Plus, a Jamestown woman is pleading for the return of her stolen farm animals. We speak with her exclusively next.
And it's another day of more clouds and sunshine out there, but some cooler air is going to be on the way. I've got the details next. The news at noon starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now on this Thursday. I'm Justin Gould. Leaders in Chautauqua County are continuing to urge residents to follow guidelines to help aid them in stopping a COVID-19 outbreak here locally. Here's an updated look at the case map. Health officials say in the last 2.5 weeks, 56 employees at Fieldbrook Foods in Dunkirk have tested positive for COVID-19 amid an outbreak at that plant. Additionally, leaders say they're becoming concerned with increased COVID-19 activity at SUNY Fredonia after 22 students have tested positive for the virus. On Wednesday, county officials reported 32 new cases of the virus here locally, with 134 now active. Of those, 25 of the 32 are related to SUNY Fredonia. Chautauqua County Executive P.J. Wendell is calling on the community to continue to follow guidelines this weekend.
We must stay vigilant and follow all of the guidance when it comes to social gatherings and face coverings when in public. Wearing your masks when you're unable to socially distance is imperative, as we now see this uptick in cases here in Chautauqua County. As the weekend approaches, and this is Labor Day holiday, we remind everyone to please avoid large group gatherings.
Now, Wendell is scheduled to hold a COVID-19 press conference update tomorrow at 1 o'clock. You can watch that live right here on our 24-hour streaming network. Well, this just in, a fire investigator was dispatched to a morning fire on Colfax Street for a report of a kitchen blaze. Here's a look at the scene. Our reporters there say members of the Jamestown Fire Department, Police Department, and New York State Police are on scene. Now, the residents of that dwelling appear to have gotten out of the house okay. Police were searching behind the house, part of their investigation. We, of course, will continue to seek updates and provide them when they're available here on air and online. Well, Chautauqua County's Mental Health Association is working to inform the public about what resources are available to those struggling with drug addiction. Our Christine Kosminski spoke with officials from the organization about their plan to help break down the stigma that surrounds addicts.
With the recent rise in overdoses in Chautauqua County, the Mental Health Association is stressing the importance of beating the stigma and getting treatment. Overdose peer advocate Allison Murphy says that this could be the culprit to this rising issue.
Personally, from what I've seen, there is a barrier. A lot of people carry a lot of shame with their substance use. Some families still have a lot of shame about it. A lot of people we see don't have a lot of families, or they don't have family support, and we're seeing a lot of younger people as well.
The Mental Health Association provides free services to anyone in need of their help. They provide counseling and Narcan training, among many other resources, to aid the community in the recent overdose uptick. While there are many factors that can lead to this increase, Murphy believes that COVID-19 may be to blame.
There's an uptick in overdoses because it seems there's a lot more people losing their jobs, a lot more homelessness. I think it has a lot to do with COVID. Usually when, we think we're all used to being together. So I think that there's a lot of people feeling alone and desperate.
Leaders of the Mental Health Association stress the importance of becoming educated and breaking down the walls of this stigma. They say that it can happen to anyone. Reporting in Jamestown, Christine Kosminski, WNY News Now.
Christine, thank you. For more on the programs available, you can visit mhachautauqua.org. A Jamestown woman is speaking out after she says her animals that she boards at a Bellevue Road farm in Ellery were stolen. Crystal Barlow tells WNY News Now that her quarter horse, Charlie, 4 donkeys, and 2 pigs are missing from the farm. She says her daughter noticed the animals were missing from the farm on August 20th. Barlow says that the lack of not knowing where her animals are or if they're being cared for properly is now taking an emotional toll.
Lack of sleep, not being able to eat, just wondering because my horse has health issues. He can't be put in a box stall because he kicks the stall. He has to be kept outside all the time, even in the winter. He can't be put in a box stall because he'll just kick until his back legs are all swollen, and I don't know if these people know this. So it's been an absolute heartbreak not knowing the condition of my animals. I rescued this horse in 2014. I bought him, and he was skin and bones when I bought him, and I kind of saved him, and he's saved me since then so many times.
Now, we've reached out to Chautauqua County Sheriff Jim Quattrone, who tells us that he has an investigator looking into the case, and the case is considered a missing animal and larceny investigation. Barlow hopes anyone with information will come forward. Well, we thank you for joining us here for WNY News Now as we make our way towards the end of another work week. Let's check in with the comments and say hello to Sally. Hopefully they're doing well. Thanks so much for joining us today. Good afternoon to Linda and Michael, and good to see Pam, Rosemary, Sandy, and Joseph here as well. Good day to Laura and Sandy. Hopefully you all are having a good one, and we thank you so much for joining us here for WNY News Now. Let's now get a check of our first offense weather forecast with Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter. Happy Thursday to you, Dakota.
Happy Thursday, Justin, and happy Thursday to all of you. We've almost made it through the end of another week here, and I showed this yesterday, wanted to mention it again because September is one of these months where basically anything can happen. We've had hot days, cold days, lots of rain, and even snow. 2 inches is the most snow we've had on a single day in this month that was set back on the 30th back in 1906. So this month can offer a smorgasbord of weather, so obviously we'll see what happens this year, but the way it looks like it's going to be mainly we'll see. Oh, there's a spider. Oh my gosh. Spider on the camera. Oh, let's watch this. I don't know if we should look at this.
Oh, is he killing the bug?
See, that's a spider. All of this is lunch.
Oh, I mean, really, it is lunch.
Yes.
Boy, they opened the buffet there in Salamanca.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You know what? You gotta love
all these
live.
are bugs that are flying around. Oh, it's back. Okay, let's get off this. I don't want to look at it anymore. All right.
You gotta love live production.
It's live
folks.
television, folks. Okay. I have a thing with bugs. I do not like things that crawl.
That's too funny.
Okay. I don't like bugs, things that fly, things that crawl. No. First offense Doppler radar. We're moving on. Now I'm not going to be eating my lunch today. Here we go. Some rain showers moving across northwestern Pennsylvania. These are going to stay away from western New York, but when they do come up into New York, it's mainly going to be out in central New York. So the majority of the afternoon will stay dry today. So the high yesterday was 73. We started the day at 59, 97, and 33 are the record highs and lows for this particular date at the Jamestown airport. So as we take a look at the forecast through the afternoon, partly to mostly sunny. As you work further northward away from the state line, you'll have more sunshine, more clouds further to the south. It'll be a bit breezy, 72 to 78. Southwest wind averaging about 7 to 14 miles per hour. Hopefully we'll have no more spiders in the forecast, and I'll give you the details on the back to school forecast for next week, Justin.
All right. Fingers crossed, Mr. Hunter. Thank you. Well, responding to President Trump, who threatened to pull federal funding from New York City, Governor Andrew Cuomo says the commander-in-chief would need an army to safely walk the streets of NYC. Yesterday, Trump said he could pull federal funds from the Big Apple and other cities, part of an effort to target anarchist jurisdictions. The governor made his comments during a telephone conference with reporters last night. Take a listen.
It really does speak volumes about him. Changed his residence to go to Florida. Why? He can't come back to New York. He can't. He's going to walk down the street in New York. Forget bodyguards. He better have an army if he thinks he's going to walk down the street in New York. People died unnecessarily because of this president's negligence. Fact.
Now, the governor has since clarified that his comments weren't meant as a threat. Well, the head of a progressive political party here in the state is urging voters to cast their vote on their party's line at a time when a new state law is jeopardizing the future of minor parties. Political parties must now receive 2% of the vote, or 130,000 votes in the previous presidential or gubernatorial election to qualify to be a party and get on the state's ballot. A political party's status will be reviewed every other year starting in November. Now, the state's new ballot qualification requirements are to take effect under a federal judge's Tuesday decision, meaning that minor parties could lose their spot on the ballot here in the future elections if they don't get enough votes this fall. Minor political parties could also lose benefits, including the ability to appear on voter registration forms and receive unlimited contributions from donors to cover administrative costs. New York's Working Family Party officially criticized the new law, and they have tried to block it in an ongoing legal battle. Now, previously, political parties had to qualify every 4 years and receiving over 50,000 votes in New York's gubernatorial election. Well, coming up next, the wait to receive federal payments continues for those who are unemployed. And later, registration for this year's Walk for Pause fundraiser is underway. We have the details on that and more as WNY News Now continues.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
I grew up in a single-parent home. We were raised by my mom in a one-bedroom apartment in Queens, and I slept in what was supposed to be a dining room just off the kitchen. We were poor and fell behind in our bills. More than once, our electricity was shut off and there were eviction notices taped to our door. I remember walking into our kitchen and finding my mother standing by the stove, crying to herself because she didn't know what to do and felt helpless. I was about 9 or 10 when our apartment was robbed. I remember arriving home with my mother and brother and finding the door open, feeling confused because the first thing I saw was that our television, a set which forever sat on a stand in the living room, was missing. I know firsthand what it's like to be a victim, to be assaulted, robbed, to have things taken from you which you're never going to get back, and to be scarred by experiences which 30 and 40 years later still haunt me. We're lucky enough to live in Chautauqua County where by and large we feel safe, but unfortunately bad things do happen here. I want to be the district attorney who personally prosecutes the most serious crimes and who's there for victims every step of the way. These are the people I want to represent, to fight for their justice, to fight for our justice in the courtroom, to help people who have suffered at the hands of others. This is why I want to be your district attorney.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
And welcome back. A 49-year-old man was arrested after allegedly setting an occupied home on fire here in Jamestown yesterday morning. Jamestown police allege that Eric Goodlow intentionally threw 2 incendiary devices onto the porch of 514 Monroe Street at around 1:50 a.m. Investigators say the porch to the residence sustained damage as a result of the arson fire. Police say, though, luckily no one was hurt. Goodlow was taken into custody, arrested, and charged. Detectives believe that the alleged actions was a result of an ongoing dispute between Goodlow and the occupants of the home, and it was not a random act of violence. An additional $300 in unemployment benefits from the Federal Lost Wages Assistance Program will eventually be rolling out here in New York, but the wait for claimants to receive them continues. The states of Arizona, Louisiana, Missouri, Tennessee, and Texas have already started the program. In total, they have 2.6 million claimants. New York, which has not started it, has about 2.8 million. According to the Department of Labor, New York has paid about 19 years' worth of benefits in a 5-month period due to COVID. New York State did not immediately apply for the program until it was learned that states didn't have to necessarily provide funding for it. There is still no set date for when payments will start, but the Department of Labor says they will continue to work as quickly as possible to get them out. Well, 19 of the 41 states that have been approved for the program do not have a set date for that to start either. The payments will be retroactive, though, until August 1st, when it was first made available. Well, it's been in the works for years, but an online retail giant, Amazon, is now one step closer to launching drone delivery service here. Our Mandy Gaither explains more in today's Consumer Watch.
It's a program Amazon first announced in 2013, the company vowing to use drones to make deliveries in 30 minutes or less. On Saturday, the Federal Aviation Administration approved an air carrier certificate, which must be held before a company begins drone deliveries. Amazon says it will use the approval to begin test deliveries, but declined to say when or where the tests will take place. Social distancing concerns during the pandemic have increased interest in using robots for delivery, but the technologies aren't ready yet for widespread use. The FAA is also still developing regulations needed for drone use, such as remote identification. David Carbon, who took the lead on Amazon's drone program in March, called the certification an important step and says, "We will continue to develop and refine our technology to fully integrate delivery drones into the airspace and work closely with the FAA and other regulators around the world to realize our vision of 30-minute delivery." Amazon is the third drone delivery company to receive the certification from the FAA. For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Well, very interesting, Mandy. Thank you. UPS and Wing, they're a subsidiary of Google's parent company Alphabet, both received their certifications last year. Laptops are the latest hard-to-find item amid this pandemic, and experts say it's not that surprising. School districts across the country are all placing big orders for the devices around the same time for remote and hybrid learning. And many universities and companies are also relying on them for remote work. The unprecedented demand for laptops is starting to hurt that supply chain. As a result, schools and families are dealing with shipping delays, limited selections, and higher than usual prices. Many device makers say they're trying to scale up their production to meet that demand, but there's only so much they can do. Well, we thank you for joining us here for WNY News Now as we make our way through this Thursday. And it's a pretty nice day out there, all things considered. Let's get a full check of our First Defense weather forecast now with Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter. And Mr. Hunter is reporting from his newly renovated weather set here. It looks pretty good, Mr. Hunter.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, you finally get to see a little bit of the weather office here, and that TV right there, that monitor, something's going to be coming up pretty soon. But we've still got a little bit of work to do in here. But this is a nice office, and you can actually see this poster right here. This is something that corporate bought us for the old weather office. So, of course, we brought it back to the new weather office. But yes, we've got a little bit of some humidity and stuff to go through. But hey, how about this beautiful picture? Let's take a look at Links 1, and you'll take a look at this. Justin, your mother took this. Amy, and she and her husband went down to the Kinzua State Park and took this beautiful picture of the old Kinzua Bridge. Of course, those of you who have lived here for a long time knows what happens to the Kinzua Bridge. It was damaged in a tornado many years ago, and this is what's left of it, and now it's a visitor's piece. And of course, these always produce magnificent pictures. And if you have any pictures of the weather, Hunters WX on Twitter and the First Defense Weather page on Facebook is how you get to us on the air. Hey, next week starts school. Can you believe that? It's going to be in person and, of course, in virtual, depending on your actual school district. So it starts Tuesday for most locations. We're going about 77 degrees, lots of sunshine. Now, as we go into Wednesday, the humidity and the temperatures will start to tick up once again, and maybe just a few showers and rumbles, but around 80 degrees. So both next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, are looking pretty good for the kids going back to school, either at home, virtually, or in person. So no spiders right now on the DoubleTree camera, but clouds south, more sun to the north. If you're further to the north away from the state line, you'll have more sun. If you're further to the state line, further south in the state line, you'll likely have more clouds. The humidity drops tonight. A minty fresh Friday is on the way, and it's going to be a cooler and drier weekend as well. So it's going to feel nice. Again, no spiders on the DoubleTree camera right now. Right now, we are at, if it will come up, 68 degrees, south wind at 9. I think the weather computer also was startled by the spider, and the dew point 61. So that's still a factor today when the dew point up there. Now, this is the future dew point temperatures. Dew point measures the moisture content in the atmosphere. The drier the air, the less humid it is, and the magic number we look for is around 60. And you can see we're going to be hanging around 60-degree dew points today and pretty much throughout early tonight. Now, this is by the start of the day tomorrow. As a cold front pushes our way tonight, that's going to drop the dew point temperatures 50s. And look at where we're going to be overnight on Friday as we go into Saturday morning. Likely dew points around the lower 50s, maybe upper 40s, so it's going to be likely a minty fresh start as we start Saturday. Satellite and radar composite shows you a few of those showers that are moving across northwestern Pennsylvania. These are basically moving to the northeast, so they're going like whoop, like that. They're likely going to clip Chautauqua. They're likely going to miss Chautauqua and Cattaraugus counties. Allegheny County may get a few showers out of it, but otherwise the rest of the region will stay dry. There's a series of fronts, one right here, one back behind the banner. This is the second front that's going to bring us the cooler air on Friday. So take a look at FutureScan. You can notice FutureScan paints you some of those showers further out to the east. So I think Allegheny County may get a little drizzle from that. Otherwise, the rest of us will stay dry. Now watch what FutureScan sparks up. This line of showers, this is in advance of the second front that's coming on through, and this is by about midnight. So tonight we'll start dry, then around midnight, 1 o'clock, we'll see showers, and watch them quickly go through the area. This is by about 3 o'clock, so by about midnight to 3 o'clock in the morning will be our best chance for those showers. Maybe a couple rumbles of thunder, no severe weather expected out of that. And then ultimately we dry out as the front pushes through. We dry out for Friday, and we're going to keep the sunshine going in full force Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all the way through the weekend. West we go, young man. Zone forecast here, Lake Erie shoreline, likely going to be the warmer spot, mid to upper 70s. More sunshine the further north you go, away from the state line. And the inland areas today, likely lower 70s here, more clouds near the state line, but otherwise not a bad day. Now, the next 7 days of your life are on the screen. 70 tomorrow, 68 as our forecasted high on Saturday. Woo, boy, that's a nice little taste of fall. And we keep the sunshine going on Sunday, 73. Labor Day, there will be a small chance of a spotty shower in the morning. Otherwise, the majority of the day will be partly sunny. And then as the kids go back to school Tuesday and Wednesday, things are looking okay for now with just a small chance for a shower on Wednesday. We'll take a break and be right back. Want weather now? Download the WNY News Now mobile app and stay up to date on severe weather alerts. Plus, anytime hazardous weather strikes, stick with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network that keeps you safe. You're all in a tornado warning, so now is the time to go to a safe place, small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. What are you waiting for? Download the WNY News Now mobile app today. It's free in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
And welcome back. Registration for this year's Walk for Paws fundraiser is underway at the Chautauqua County Humane Society. Director of Community Relations with the group, Brian Papalea, says because of the COVID pandemic, this year's fundraiser will be taking place virtually on Facebook Live. He says this year has been pretty challenging for many, including animals that rely on the Humane Society's services. Team and individual registrations are open for the 16th annual Walk for Paws event at chqhumane.org. Now, the Humane Society will still be offering prizes for fundraisers, and those will be delivered through the mail. Certainly a great event to get behind, and they do a lot of good. And in fact, we'll be seeing Brian tomorrow here on the program with a furry friend for our Friday Pet of the Week segment. Can't wait for that. Well, we thank you all so much for joining us here for WNY News Now as we christen the ship here this week. Dakota, it's been pretty exciting, my friend, as we've moved into a brand new studio and newsroom, which I'm really liking the newsroom. I don't know about you. I know you work primarily there in the Weather Center as your desk.
Most of my day is spent in here. So.
Yeah, which works well for COVID because you have your own space. But we've really enjoyed it in there.
We have a little invisible door right here that I close right here. Yeah.
Well, I imagine when we're not using, no one's probably in the studio unless we're doing on-air stuff, right? I'd imagine you're pretty much alone in here.
I'm basically the only person who works in here, so I have this whole place to myself. So I blare music in here, and whatnot.
Not bad. So
I kick my feet back. Nobody else works in here, so
right. You got to enjoy it, and it looks good. I mean, you have a good setup, and I'm excited for it. I think this is really cool. And did you know what they brought back yesterday? I'm sure you were right on this. I saw this morning.
Oh, yes.
Our friends at the HD News Now cam, it's back. Can we
I
point
used
that
at
sucker
the beginning
down?
Of the show.
Can someone point that sucker down, please? I love this camera. It's my favorite camera in the whole world. Because we can connect with the fans on the street.
You see, we've talked about this
before.
There are
no fans. Where are the fans?
You see, we've talked about this before. I like the camera to be pointed at the sky. Justin likes it to be pointed down on 3rd Street so that way he can creep on all the people walking by.
It's not creeping. I want to give the people an outlet to be seen. That's all.
Nobody, I don't think anybody has ever looked up at the camera and waved.
You'd be surprised. I saw a guy down there in a chicken suit once.
What?
Yeah, he was in a chicken suit. You don't remember that? I tweeted it.
Well, you'd have to go back and dig up that tweet because
I'm going to have to, I guess.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
They've changed the graphic to weather. They don't want us to talk about this.
Although the good news is it's not Barry Weiss who comes to a locker auction bidding with a rubber chicken.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the forecast for tonight. And for tonight, we start dry. Then a couple of showers and thunderstorms will be coming our way around midnight, 56 to 63, but it turns less humid and more cooler as that cold front passes by. 68 Saturday, 73 Sunday, Labor Day, mainly dry. Small chance for a shower in the morning, and next week looking nice, but we start warming up again around 80 by next Wednesday, Justin.
All right, Dakota. Certainly summer is coming back for a little bit. Thank you. We appreciate that. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Of course, we remind you when you're on the go, stay in the know by downloading the WNY News Now mobile app. We'll leave you with a live look over downtown Jamestown. We're back tomorrow with our TGIF edition right here at noon. Hope to see you then.